to you.
Baby the Stallion.
You think I sing that song?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You wrong for that.
Well, hey, I usually think about Frank Sinatra.
Okay, I know that's right, but that's okay. She's a beautiful girl. All right. Okay. No, I don't sing that song.
Hey guys, it's your boy Quay and your boy's back with another video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you guys can be notified when your boy posts another video. Jump on the subject with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. I understand that I'm kind of like way behind, so I want to jump in what happened today. But day number 7 of the trial, MobRadio basically talking about the incident that happened, and I'll be inserting the clip right here. This will be like a reaction video to it. If y'all want to see day 1 uploaded, the rest of day 1, I will be uploading day 2 soon. But I'm just going to jump up to 7. So if it's like all over the place, y'all, sorry about that, y'all. And your boy's trying to get to 2K subs by the end of the year. So y'all subscribe now for me, you feel me?
Alright, y'all, come on, because it's lunch and I'm not even about to eat, so I can tell y'all this food. Okay? Come on. Because this was really a fool. See that double chin coming in? This was really a fool. My face is greasy. I don't know why I look so greasy. Thank you. Alright. I'm going to speak from the courtroom with me so they can give you their opinions as well. Now today, you're probably going to see a lot about they tried to kill Megan and throw her in the river.
Oh boy.
But I want to put some context around that. When I say this morning was a fool, it was a fool. A fool. So let's break it down so I can tell you why in the they saying that they was about to throw her in the river. They said, Milagro man, is it not looking good? We'll get into it. Who it don't look good for, it still looks good for Tory. I don't know why the y'all can't understand that if anybody deviates from what Megan claimed, that's the problem. What are we here to prove? That he shot her. People get so emotional and want to get tired of oop. What are the facts? The facts are Megan said he did this way. That is not what we're finding out, and that is at the core of the situation. So I'm going to need you to remain focused, and I'm going to need you to understand what's going on. This is a court of law. This is not Clue. This is not you watching ID channel. This is not forensic fight. We're in court, and they have to prove things. So hold on to that. Now we come in, day 7, it's 10:50 a.m. They had to replace the juror. There was talk about the juror who got to go to the doctor Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm guessing, not sure, that they went ahead and replaced them now so that this wouldn't even be a problem. So they bring in a white woman, okay? A stipulation is something in court that is a fact. So when somebody presents a stipulation, if the other party agrees, then you have to admit that as a fact, okay? Hold on. So, the stipulation brought up today was the fact that the 9mm weapon was unregistered, okay? And then the people have rested unless they can find, Justin or anybody else, and we move on to the defense. So, George, who is Tory's lawyer, they call forward Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly is not American. Do I think that's important? I do, because I think that changes the way that he views us as people in this country and the way he's going to view situations and violence and everything, because it's different culturally. You cannot hear me? Y'all can hear me? Please hurry up, because I need to at least get a piece of chicken or something. You can hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, fix your phone, stop interrupting me. So, they said, you remember July 2020? And he said, yeah. They said, you live near Nichols Canyon Road, right? He said, yeah. And he said, what happened that day? He said, I was asleep, and at the back of my house, there's a driveway and a garage. He said, and it's often used by people because the reception right there is good. So, people usually come over there and use the phone, basically. He said, I get bothered a lot. He said, I heard shouting, so I opened the balcony windows to ask them to leave. That's what he said. Now, I can pull this up later for you guys because this address was listed in all the write-ups and all of this shit and show you where those windows are. But he had an amazing vantage point, is what I would say, based on the location of the windows. He said that his son, who sleeps on the same floor as him, was awoken as well. And they're on the same floor, basically. So they showed him a photo of his home, and they said, "What do you see?" He said, "I see my driveway, the car, the house, and I see my balcony." And he pointed to his bedroom, and then he pointed to the two windows facing the street and like where the sun was and all of that, but the son's room was. And he said, and then the balcony right there that I came out on. And so I noted that was a great view, in my opinion. They said, "Could you tell us if you saw a vehicle when you awoken?" And he said, "Yeah." And they said, "Could you indicate what the vehicle was?" He said, "Yes." So they showed him a photo, and he literally draws a square that would represent the car. And the way that I can describe it to you is that the car was headed west, so going this way, and it was up on the curb. You know how you kind of pull up on the curb so you're not in the street? You got to remember, these are narrow streets and stuff. So he described the car as being up on the curb pretty much. Okay. They said, when you heard the noises and the arguing, then what happened? He said, "I looked through the windows, and there were two girls." He said, "I saw two girls arguing." And he said they were standing next to the car, on the right side of the car. So this would be the passenger side of the car, and that the doors were open. If we pause right here, is that what Megan or Kelsey said happened? And that is where your fucking problem lies. Megan said that boy, as soon as she got out the car, Kelsey said when she got out the car, no sooner than she got out the car, she heard gunshots. They both fucking lied. Because at the end of the day, this independent witness who was from the UK says that, "Listen, I looked, I heard arguing, I go, look out the window, can y'all leave?" And I, kind of look a little bit more. And they fighting. So when did that happen? Miss Bump? I bumped a bitch. Okay? And so, when you heard the noise, then what happened? So I looked through the windows, and there was two girls. I saw them arguing, standing next to the car on the right side of the car. The doors were open. He said, "I opened my doors, and I stepped onto the balcony, and they started fighting." So, pulling hair.
Hitting each other, quite violent.
Quite violent is what he said. He said, "I only saw two girls, and then I saw a tall guy get out of the driver's side." Yeah, she said he was in all black, and he was black, okay? And he was a larger gentleman. So if we pause right there, pulling hair and hitting and shit. So all of this conversation about Tory whooping her ass and pulling on her neck, and that's why your chain broken, that's why you got these scars, and that's why you got a patch in your head and your nails broke. They trying to put that on Tory. But this witness saw you and Megan fighting, okay? Kelsey is 4'11", Megan is 5'10".
Thank you.
And he said they'll fight for a while. Milagro Gramz at gmail.com if you want to do Zelle. So, he said my son came out, and I talked to my son. He said the next thing I saw was the driver intervene, and they were all fighting for a while. He said, "I told my son, get in my bed." He said they kept fighting. He said they separated, and that Megan got into, he's describing Megan, so I'm going to say their names as per who I think he was talking about. He said she got into the passenger side of the car, and they were still fighting. They said she just kept kicking. Yeah, so I would imagine her just kicking Kelsey. He said all I was seeing was her legs kicking her. And they said, "For how long?" He said, "I don't know, several minutes. He said, "I was still on the balcony." He said, "And nothing was in my way. Like I could see them." He said, "I could see them from the top. I wasn't looking directly at them out of eye, but I could see them, basically." They said, "Did one female leave?" He said, "No." He said, "I saw one girl go to the car, and then I saw what I thought was fireworks. But now I know that it was a muzzle flash." So that's what he said. He saw a muzzle flash. They said at the same time, he said Tory got out and was yelling. He said he got out and as they yelled, and then all four of them was right there. And he kept saying that this was happening so fast. So he said he got out of the passenger side of the car. This was the side he said Tory got out of. He said, "Then I saw flashes. I saw gunfire." He said that he had spoken to police about 3 times, and the first time was that day. He said it was a lot of cops that he spoke to, and he spoke to a sergeant, the DA, and the investigator, and then a prosecutor's investigator. They said, "You saw the muzzle flash?" He said, "Yes." And then they said, "Where?" He said, "I saw the muzzle flash closer to the girls." They said, "Is that the same lady that you saw fighting the one who the flash went off by?" Yeah. They said, and she was just kicking. He said, "I heard the gun go off, and they were still fighting." He said eventually the girl, and this is what they said, he said the girl that got beat up crawled and went across the street. So if everybody that think that Kelsey got beat the fuck up, baby, that is not what the man from London said. He said that that girl, big ass, she got beat the fuck up. So they said, "Did you hear dance bitch?" He said no, he did not hear that. They said you were interviewed about who had the gun, and you were asked, how many people had it. He said 2 people had the gun. That's what he said. He said, "Who had it initially?" He said the girl. I only saw flashes from the girl, but they was all fighting.
Who was fighting with the other girl?
Okay, and then and I'm gonna put the camera on this young lady right here so she can tell y'all. But when I get done, she can give y'all her perspective. After the flash, they said Tory was shouting and everybody was fighting. They was just making a lot of noise. They said, "Did you see the gentleman run to her?" And he said, "No, he ain't run. He got out the car." And so, that he kind of walked over there. He wasn't running like that. So there was a couple of objections, and they felt like the defense was leading him. So he had to rephrase his questions. They said, "Did you say that the person who the muzzle flash went off by was the one with the gun?" And they showed him his statement, and he said, "Yes, that's what I said." They said, "Who did you describe the shooter to be when you spoke with her?" He said, "One of the girls." They said, "Did you see the shorter guy do anything with the girl who was shot?" And then, did you get an answer to the question? Because they moved on. Because it was a whole bunch. When I tell you the prosecution was like, objection, objection, objection.
They ended up asking him, "Did you see the shorter guy try to take the gun away after the female?"
Then I do have it right.
He said yes.
Perfect. So when they said, "Did you see him do anything with the girl who got shot?" There was an objection, and so he rephrased the question. He said, "Didn't you say that the shorter guy tried to take the gun from the girl?" He said, "Yes." They said, "Then the flashes came from him." So I want to remind you guys of how it sounded when they played those gunshots. It went like this. Pop, 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 pause, pop, pop. From day one, when we heard that shit, I said, you know what, that sounds like a struggle. And now it's starting to align with the fact that somebody fired that weapon and there was something, a pause, and it went off 2 more times. Okay? That is my speculation, obviously. They said, then the flashes came from him. He said they were all fighting, so I assumed that it was him who fired the gun. So they read the statement, and he said, "Sir, did you say that after the female did the shooting that the guy tried to take the gun?" This man said, "It's my turn to talk." Okay? And he said, "Tom, let me tell him." He got aggravated, Tom. And so they said, "Look, who started the shooting?" He said, "The girl." Plain as day, the girl. They said, "Did you realize that it wasn't a firearm?" Is that what you know? Did you realize that it wasn't a firearm?
No, I know. He said I was thinking and hoped that they were playing with fireworks.
Right. And then did you realize that it was a firearm? He said, yes. He said, "Do you agree that you called 911? He said, yeah. He said, "Did you say that there was a gun in the 911 call?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "After talking to everyone, did you say that Kelsey shot every time?" And what that means is, every time you spoke to anybody, were you telling them that Kelsey is the one who shot? Yes, was the answer to this question. Yes, that's what I said. He said, "I saw her, and then everyone was fighting, and the men were breaking up the fight." He said the bigger guy violently separated them. They said, "Didn't you say that the short guy didn't get out until after the initial shots?" He said, "Yeah." So, "Did you see the shorter guy with the gun?" He said, "Yeah, well, I didn't see a gun." He said, "I did not see a gun." So they said after shots were fired, he got out and he was fighting both of the girls. That's what he said. They said, "On the date of the incident, did you go downstairs when the police came?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I spoke to the police about 15 to 20 minutes after the incident, and they kept asking him, 'Were you being truthful?' He said, 'Yeah.' He said, "You said the 2 women were fighting and the man separated them, right?" He said, "Yes." So they go to the bench to talk. They come back. They said, "When you spoke to officers, you were being honest, right?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "I saw the girls fighting, and I saw the girl with a gun." Let me stop right here and just say, he contradicted himself a lot. Because how did you see the girl with the gun if you didn't see a gun? You understand what I'm saying? So it was like, child, did you see a gun or did you not see a gun? But he is adamant about the fact that the girl was fighting and that the girl had the gun first and that Tory was in the car when the gun started going off. That's what he said. They said, "Did you talk to Detective Stallion?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "Did you describe the incident?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "Did you tell Stallion who was fighting?" Objection. He said, "I remember speaking to the DA, the sergeant, the officer," and they said, "Were you being honest when you spoke with them?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "Who was initially in the fight?" They say the girls, and then the driver got out first, and then Tory got out after the shots. And they said, "And you told my guy that same thing, right?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "Who was fighting?" The girls. And then they said, "Who did you initially see with the gun?" Who initially had the gun? You saw the girl with the gun, right? He said, "Yes." They said, "And then Tory got out after the initial gunshots were fired to break it up." He said, "Yes." They said in the driveway, the 3 of them were beating the girl. Listen to this. They said when Megan crawled over to the adjacent driveway, he said the 3 of them, that would be Kelsey Quan, and Tory. He is accusing them of beating Megan to the point where he thought that they would kill her. He said that Megan was in the fetal position, and that the bigger guy said the police coming. He said they picked the girl up, and I thought that they was going to throw her in the motherfucking water. He said if they would have thrown her in the water, it was 12 to 15 feet deep. And he said, I thought that that's what they was about to do. I thought that they would kill her, but then they put her in the car and drove off. That is why I make the comment about the way that we're viewed. That is why. It sounds like to me they picked her up, and maybe you assume because it was niggas that they was finna throw the bitch overboard and try to kill her, but they went and put it in the car. So what made you think they would throw her in there? Did they walk over there and try to throw her in there, or did you just see them pick her up? Okay. So, they put in the car and drove off. He said, he was awakened when they were arguing. So he did not, see them get out the car, but he saw Kelsey get out the car for this fight. He said Megan climbed back into the car and the passenger doors were open. He said the larger guy walked around to the front of the car. And then we go to cross-examination. They said the counselor asked you about the 911 call, and what did you say? He said that there was a violent attack and that they were beating girls. And they gave an objection. They came back and they brought the question. So gunshots were fired to break it up. He said yes. They said in the driveway, the three of them were beating the girl. Listen to this. They said when Megan crawled over to the adjacent driveway, he said the three of them, that would be Kelsey, Quan, and Tory. He is accusing them of beating Megan to the point where he thought that they would kill her. He said that Megan was in the fetal position, and that the bigger guy said the police coming. He said they picked the girl up, and I thought that they was going to throw her in the motherfucking water. He said if they would have thrown her in the water, it was 12 to 15 feet deep. And he said I thought that that's what they was about to do. I thought that they would kill her, but then they put her in the car and drove off. That is why I make the comment about the way that we're viewed. That is why. It sounds like to me they picked her up, and maybe you assume because it was niggas that they was going to throw the bitch overboard and try to kill her, but they went and put it in the car. So what made you think they would throw her in there? Did they walk over there and try to throw her in there, or did you just see them pick her up? Okay. So, they put in the car and drove off. He said, he was awakened when they were arguing. So he did not, see them get out the car, but he saw Kelsey get out the car for this fight. He said Megan climbed back into the car and the passenger doors were open. He said the larger guy walked around to the front of the car. And then we go to cross-examination. They said the counselor asked you about the 911 call, and what did you say? He said that there was a violent attack and that they were beating girls. And they gave an objection. They came back and they brought the question again. He said they were beating the girls. Yes, that's what I said. Now get this. Don't let them leave this part out. He said that is what I said on the phone call because that's what they were doing at the time. He said at that time when I called 911, they were hitting her. They were beating the girl. And they were all fussing and beating the girl. He said, so, that's what happened. And they said, you testified about a short guy getting out of the back, right? Yes. When the small guy got out, they all fought. He said he got out and he was shouting a lot. They were all shouting. They said, didn't you tell us, quote, the chap in the car was firing the gun? He said, yes. He said, but they were all fighting. He said, I saw the short guy shoot all over everywhere, about 4 to 5 shots. And then they played the audio. Now, this is where my problem comes in at. You said that you didn't see a gun. And you said that Kelsey initially, fired the gun. There were only 5 shots fired. So, what the hell have you heard? And what the hell is going on? Would be my question.
I gotta go.
So,
I really like that song, Wet Ass Pussy.
you like what? What song you like?
Wet Ass Pussy.
Who I look like to you?
Baby the Stallion.
You think I sing that song?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You wrong for that.
God. Well, hey, I usually think about Frank Sinatra.
Okay, I know that's right, but that's okay. She's a beautiful girl. All right. Okay. No, I don't sing that song. Yeah, wop, wop, wop. This one wet ass pussy. Yeah. No, that ain't me. I'm coming up with a mixtape, though.
All right. Well, hey,
You like.
I'm not Mr. Elevator.
I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
No. People mistake people for the people all the time. It's fine, sir. And I like Frank Sinatra, too.
Yeah, we got something.
Okay?
You gotta do something. Hey.
Okay? Oh, no, that's fine. You have a good day.
I knew she made.
Can I tell you, you cannot make this shit up? Are you kidding me? I didn't even catch what he said. All I heard was pussy.
He said, I like that song. I like your song, wet ass pussy. I like that.
All right. Okay. So when the small guy got out of the car, they all fought. And he got out and he was shouting a lot, and it was all shouting. He said, didn't you say that the chap in the car was firing a gun? He said, yeah, but they was all fighting. And he said, I saw the short guy shooting all over the place with his hands up, just shooting all over the place, about 4 or 5 shots. Once again, let's be logical. Babe, if only 5 shots were fired, so how the fuck was Tory still in the car when Kelsey started firing, but he shot 4 or 5 shots? Be logical. And this is why this witness, I just feel like, babe, you're not making sense to me. I mean, what the fuck happened? So, well, because the man doesn't have a point of reference, they had to describe him as the short guy. They had to describe Kelsey as one of the young ladies that was shorter, and then the other guy as the tall guy. Okay? That's what they had to do because he don't have no point of reference. And they didn't even want defense referencing him as my client. So they made that very clear. He said, I saw the short guy shoot all over everyone. So they played the audio of the gunshots. The gunshots went as followed. Pop, 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 pause, pop, pop. All right. I saw the short guy shoot. Okay, I already read that. They said, you saw the short guy, and this is what you heard after they played the audio? He said, yeah. He said, I told them that he shot multiple times and that she fell out the car and was bleeding and crawling and stumbling. They said, you thought that you saw a female shooting inside the car. Ain't that what you said? He said, yes. He said, but my son was with me and I was worried about my son. He was the one who ended up finding the last cartridge case. And he said, but I never saw a gun. So if you never saw a fucking gun, nigga, how the fuck you saw Tory shoot a gun 5 times? What the fuck are you talking about? Please. They thought, let this man go home, because this is a botch. He said, didn't you say, I see what appears to be the girl shooting into the car? Yes. Quote, he was shooting and she was just kicking and she crawled across the street into a ball. They said, what did Tory say as he fired the gun? This man said it was a torrent of abuse. They were saying, motherfucker this, motherfucker that. He said, but it was all of them. He said, but Tory was going crazy and he was agitated. Here go Ken Barbie. He was going crazy. Child, he said, yeah, he was going crazy.
funny, man.
That fit his narrative. And then they were done and they wanted a redirect. Okay. Mr. Kelly, they said, you spoke with my guy on January 5th, 2021, right? And you talked to the prosecution's people in September 2021. You say, yeah. And you agreed that you spoke to police and said that my client was in the car when shots were initially fired. He said, yes. And when you saw that muzzle flash closer to Kelsey, my client was in the car. He said, yes. I'm using my client loosely, just so y'all know, but referencing Tory. They said, didn't you say that when he got out the car that he tried to get the gun from the other girl? He said, yes, that's what I said. He said, when you first heard the gun and saw the muzzle flash, that was near the woman, correct? He said, yes. He said, you said you never saw a gun, right? He said, yeah, he had something, but I just saw him like waving his hands around. And he said it was just all this fighting and yelling, and the girls was fighting, and he just got out cussing. They said, who did you see fire the first shot? The witness said, the girl. Let them hoes tell you what the fuck they want to tell you. That's what that man said. He said he initially...
I feel that way too.
What? It's 3 people sitting right here. They talking about that's not what was said. You's a motherfucking liar.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, put it. Somebody that just got locked. But I'm
Somebody
telling you
that
exactly
got
what was said. But you knew that already. So if you feel like you identify with them, go over there. Because I'm going to tell you what I saw and what I wrote down. But and I want y'all to hear from other people as well. So y'all can get into what they heard. But if have I been wrong yet, you guys?
No.
Okay. Okay. So then they do a recross. They said, this prosecution now, was your interview recorded when we did it? He said, I don't know. They said, did he tell you the interview was recorded? He said, absolutely not. They said, would that be important to you? He said, yeah, I would want to know that I was, being recorded. They said, did you say that Tory was outside of the vehicle when the shit went out? He said, yeah. He said, did you say that all of them were out of the vehicle when the shots was fired? He said, yeah. So don't they contradict his last statement where he said that Tory was in the car? That's why I'm not fooling with this. They said, when was the first time that you said it was a girl? He said, in the beginning. He said on the 911 call, did you mention a girl? He said, no. They said, when you spoke to Officer Diaz, did you mention a girl? He said, no. But at the time, I didn't realize I was being recorded. What significance does that bear? And for me, they were trying to establish that he didn't mention a girl until he met with the defense. So they're trying to paint a picture that you basically changed your story because you went over here to do this and talk to them. Now, they went to the bench and they said that we could go to lunch. And that is what happened, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to pass my phone and I'm going to let them tell you how they feel about this and what they saw, okay? Okay, that's what's happening.
All right. Okay. So, hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jameson. I am also covering this case, and when I tell you this is what we are hearing is definitely contradicting, and it's a fact. I think before all this started, it's a fact that Megan and Kelsey got into a fist fight. Something that they both testifying on the stand saying they didn't get into no fist fight. And the fact that Megan was in the car kicking, they was pulling each other hair, they was on all this shit. And I'm gonna be real, this shit done terrified this damn man and traumatized this man. He don't know how to feel about us, okay? So when I say this man is contradicting himself, he's going back and forth, he's not remembering certain shit, but remember certain shit. He saw a gun, did see a gun. He did say that he thought and hoped that he was seeing fireworks, not a gun. When he saw he saw the sparks from the gun, he keeps saying, I thought that it was fireworks. And of course he said, I saw the girl shoot the gun first. It was not Tory that shot the gun first, according to him. It was the girl who shot the gun first because Tory was still sitting in the car. And after
that makes me feel like I was just trying to protect my girl.
Yeah, but what happened was the man said, I saw the girl shoot the gun first, and then the guy was sitting in the car, but the guy got out of the car, and then of course we can also hear on the audio that's when the more shots rang out. But he's saying now that I saw the guy shooting like 4 or 5 shots, and it was just going on. He was all crazy and just shooting all over the place. But that's not what he had previously said. So anywho, y'all, this is really a shit show at this moment. And we gonna just keep y'all updated. Y'all know Milagro doing the damn thing, keep y'all updated. And I'm gonna be real, she really keeping y'all updated on what the fuck is going on. And so yeah, I'm gonna pass this phone. You want this?
Did you want
we got somebody else that's here too. That's
he gonna look like a girl on that film.
We gonna pass the phone and let y'all know what's really going on too.
My name is Marquisha. So I just wanted to say the most important thing about the case is that you have to stick to the facts, and so we're going by testimony. So if Megan and Kelsey said that they lied about the fight, that directly goes against what this whole trial is about. So if Megan and Kelsey if Megan and Kelsey was fighting, that gives Kelsey motive to have picked up the gun.
Exactly.
And that is the biggest thing here.
What EJ said yesterday, didn't he bitch yesterday that he saw something that looked like a gun? But just
yes, EJ did say yesterday that he's seen something that looks like a gun in Kelsey's bag. And I think this is important to note. It was inconclusive on the gun for DNA, but on the magazine, Tory was ruled out. So that means that gun could not have been Tory's because he wasn't loading it. And if Tory didn't have that gun or have knowledge of that gun, only the person who had knowledge of that gun could have picked that gun up. And I think that's the biggest part of this. Tory could never have reached for a gun that he did not know was there. And that's all I had to say about it. How can you reach for a gun that you don't know is there? The gun was found around what we confirmed to be Kelsey's stuff from EJ. So I think these are things that white media is not covering enough.
Go ahead.
All I want to say is I don't believe the audio. The audio don't sound real. That's that because if you have people shooting a gun and they out there cussing and yelling, you will hear them cussing and yelling too in the audio. You don't hear nothing but just gunshots going off. It ain't real.
Oh wow.
I think they made that up.
Okie dokie. We're back. My titties are still big. And see, this is what's going on. So y'all go get y'all news from wherever y'all want to, and they gonna tell y'all whatever they want to. But I done told you exactly what was said in the courtroom like I've been doing. If I wanted to keep details, bitch, I wouldn't have told you shit that I felt like was damning to, particular sides. Bitch, I'm telling you everything. If Megan got jumped by the other 3, why wouldn't you acknowledge that?
Neither one of them. Nobody.
Nobody acknowledged it, but why wouldn't Megan say that? Why wouldn't you come say that? Okay, they said Megan Cunha said something completely different. Child. And I think that the defense could have did a better job with him. But then, what do you do with somebody that's contradicting them themselves? Like, what? And could they have been restraining her? Like, I don't know. He contradicted himself.
Because first he was saying that Tory was helping, then he said they were fighting. So, dude, they helping.
And let me tell you why this is still a win. You can let Megan Cunha for whoever else say what the fuck they want to say. Let me tell you why this is still a win. Because that ain't what Megan said happened. Mm-hmm. Nah, check that. That's not what Megan said happened. That's not what the fuck Kelsey said. And they said so the whole time it was Tory protecting a black woman. That's what it sounds like to me. A bitch pulled a gun and started firing that whole bitch. Let me just speculate. Bitch, you got me fucked. He said that they let them fight for a while, but when a gun got pulled and them shots went off, oh bitch, what the fuck is you doing with the whoop? You gonna spring into action. You gonna stop that shit. You gonna try to separate them. Remember, Kelsey said she got picked up like a rag doll. I believe that. I believe that was the violent separation that man was talking about. I believe that he probably yanked the fuck out that hoe to pick her the fuck up. Hell no, hell no, hell no. This story about the three of them beating on Megan, maybe the bitch is 5'11". Maybe they were trying to get her in the car. Does that make sense to y'all? Maybe he was trying to get the bitch in the car. She big. If the bitch fighting back and they got a da-da-da-da-da. They said her mom said Tory was shooting a gun. That is what the man said, but that's not all he said. So I just need everybody to go over everything that he said. That's all. That's all. Because what he said was, a girl had the gun first. Tory was still in the car when that first shot got fired and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. That's what he said. And if y'all want to pull court transcripts and run it, bitch, we can do it. Because I'm writing down everything. And I ain't stopped being thorough today. If I wanted to keep shit close to the chest, bitch, I wouldn't have told you half of what that nigga said. Because some of it was fucking condemning to, you know what I'm saying? So, bitch, I'm telling you, everything that happened just happened every other day. So, this is still a dub. Because at the end of the day, that's not what you said happened. You said that somebody shot you with the intent to shoot you. That's what you said happened. That's not what's being described. So court is about not what you know, but what you can prove. And what have they proven? That is the question I leave you with. And the answer is what this young lady just said. Nothing. There's too much reasonable fucking doubt for this to be something that stands.
Everyone thinks this is a case of public opinion.
And it's not.
It's not.
It's not. And if the first gunshots, as he said, came from Kelsey, maybe her hand was still on the trigger while he was trying to get it away from her.
Because remember he said the guy got out the car and trying to, basically intervene with Kelsey.
Right. Somebody said, damn, so Tory did shoot her? You're not listening.
They ain't hearing nothing.
The man said that Tory was shooting all over everyone, but he also said that Kelsey shot first. How did Tory shoot 4 or 5 shots when it was only 5 shots fired? If Kelsey shot first. Then we heard pop, 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 pause, pop, pop. What I'm surmising is pop, pop, pop is Kelsey. Bitch, you got me fucked up. Pop, pop, pop. Bitch, what you doing? Pause. Try to get it real quick. And the gun go off 2 more times and miss them trying to get it.
Yep. And that damn it was like this. Remember the defense came and said, what if he...
Right. What if he... And they did ask the expert, if he went over there and had tried to get it from her, could that be why there was gunshot residue?
Yes.
Yeah. So, babe, this wasn't no slam dunk for the damn prosecution. I do think that the defense could have done a better job in their line of question, just to outline, certain things and just make it clear, because this witness was all over the place. The prosecution even said, I'm trying to get a foundation with you, and I'm trying, because you said this, but then you said this. So, y'all are going to leave with what you want to. I told you what it was, and that's just that, baby. So, talk to y'all later, tell y'all what happens after the second half. And that's it. That's it. What the mixtape gonna be called? Bitch, never ever. Bitch, I ain't gonna be fucking mixtape called. So, they said, I'm so lost. Was Tory shooting or was the girl shooting?
Kelsey was shooting first.
He said Kelsey shot first.
And there was a struggle.
And then,
and Tory was trying to grab the gun.
That's what he said. So don't leave out the part you don't like and keep what you want. That man said a lot of different things. He contradicted himself. That's what I'm telling you. What's that say?
Sean Kelly. He says, Witness Sean Kelly shares details of the night Megan Thee Stallion got shot. He says he believes a woman fired the shot first. Sean also reported yes to the defense attorney when asked, "Sir, did you see the shorty guy with a gun in his hand?" He continued, "Then everyone started beating one girl." Somebody said, "To me, it appeared that they were going to throw her in the river."
Okay.
Yep.
So ain't that what the fuck I said? So what's the discrepancy?
Yep.
It ain't one. So any motherfucking way. They said no matter what it sounds like, this isn't good for score because the witness saying that is all the DNA needed. Bitch, you sound dumb because it's not solely what he said.
They must just came in on
You cannot keep what you want and throw away the rest, bitch. This is not Thanksgiving leftovers, nigga.
Not
What
leftovers.
are you talking about? But I'm done talking to hoes that want to come in, bitch, at the last minute and hold on with them. If you feel like Tory guilty, don't say a bitch ass thing when you walk up out of here. How about that? And if you think that Megan innocent, go stream her album that y'all did not buy. Okay? See you later, you guys.
If Tory would have got caught lying to me,
That you didn't buy.
he would have been damned to hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But we gonna press on, baby. It is a movie, and this is ridiculous. This witness is contradictory, and I just feel like, baby, you're not even making sense. You're not even making sense.
But at least he was able to paint that picture for us on what really fucking happened, the fight.
And do y'all want to talk about a fight? Do y'all want to talk about
I don't
who's
think
fighting?
nobody want to talk about the fight.
Why y'all don't want to talk about that?
Well, who got beat the fuck
Beat
up?
up is the question.
Okay then. So this is the shit that I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what's happened so far. And I will talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.
Dang. So I can understand where they're coming from. Like, basically, I knew from the jump that Kelsey did it. I just had it in my head watching the first part, because I just did the first part, and I watched a little bit of the second part that I might edit, but I already had my brain wrapped up that Kelsey did it. That's just my honest opinion. But if you're new to my channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you guys can be notified when your boy posts another video. So, and the other parts will be coming soon. I want to put that out because a lot of people couldn't find it on social media. They were just hearing it about the Shade Room, and I know y'all just wanted to see, y'all just wanted to get to the point. Y'all want to know who did it, this, that, and the third. I also want to know too, but I feel like Kelsey had something to do with it. I feel like she did it, but it makes sense that Kelsey shot first and then Tory basically try to kind of like stop her, whatever, which I already knew, whatever. So your boy trying to get to 2K subscribers. Like I said before, y'all subscribe to this channel, and as always, be breezy, don't be easy. Yeah.